Bam. Bam. I got rocking the Paranormal Savior hat. You guys can see I have to lean down because the green screen's behind me and it really is kind of frustrating. I got to fix that staticky crap on the outside. Hello, Karen, Laura, Carrie, Anna. How's everyone doing?
Happy Tuesday.
Yes, we were going to go on last night, but we were tired last night. Hello, Veronica. How are you? How's everyone doing? Tuesday night. Whoopi, John McGinnis. How are you, David? Caitlin, how's it going? So, another week. And this week we are at the Sterling Hill Mine.
Yay.
Hey, Kimberly. Jason, what's up? We're at Sterling Hill Mine with Kalani Smith. It's been a while since we hung out with Kalani at the expo last year, but
Hi, Kevin.
Kalani will be back with us Saturday. Hope you guys are coming to the event. For those of you who are, it's going to be a good time. Hello, Nora. We're going to have two other guests with us because Tanya and Kenny can't make it. So we're going to have two other guest investigators with us, Taryn and Jocelyn, who have been in the field for a while, know what they're doing. So going to be a little different for you guys that are coming. And I've got my new experiments that I'm going to do in the office. Someone's getting possessed. Someone's getting possessed, people. There it is, right there. So should be fun. Yeah, it's Mind Week. It's going to be fun. So looking forward to Kalani. You don't know who Kalani is, go on TikTok. The guy's got more followers than God. YouTube, he's blowing up. He's going to be there Friday filming at the mine. So I'm sure there's going to be an episode of his from the mine next couple of months or so. But Kalani's a good dude, man. I mean, to his credit, he knows what he's doing on YouTube. He knows what he's doing on TikTok. He's an innovator, smart.
He's entertaining.
Younger guy. I mean, charisma, personality. I like Kalani. From the minute I met him, I like Kalani. Reminds me of a young paranormal savior from 5 years ago. He's not that much younger. Anyway, Steve Gonzalez, I get his name wrong. I know I heard him pronounce it and I butcher it. That his event at the mine sold out. Ooh. Completely sold out. August 3rd, completely sold out with Steve from Ghost Hunters. That went pretty fast. We actually considered adding Friday night to the event as well, but I think we're just going to stick with Saturday because we're old and 2 nights is too much for us. Hello, Nicole, Susan, Kathy, how you doing? So that's completely sold out. So the only other event that we're going to be announcing, when I announce the fall events, and yes, it's crazy that we're talking about the fall already. Um, they're all going to be announced pretty much together. I'm going to work it out so that I can just put them all up on the website, put them all up on Facebook and Instagram, and just you guys
Yeah.
send emails for whatever ones you want, and we'll do that. I'm okay with doing that for the fall. The rest of the year is kind of wonky. It's hard to do that. But the last event before the fall events, I believe, is Liberty Hall. And I think that's going to be a Friday night. I think that's August 23rd,
When's
24th.
the John Zaffis one that's coming up with the haunted objects? So that's what, July 25th? I can't remember. This is why I stay quiet most of the time, but because I want to say something. When is that? Is it the? He's just gonna sit there and shake his head.
People wonder how I got this hat and how I get bobbleheads and
I'm like this
action
because he
figures.
annoys the crap
And
out of me.
thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Thank you,
May
Veronica, who is
25th. Didn't I
not.
say May 25th?
No,
And
you
he
said
could have
July.
just. I
You
said July.
Yes.
I didn't mean
Veronica,
to say
who is
July.
not part of New Jersey Paranormal, is aware of these things. But yes, Chris is now in. She came from the hallway all the way back there. That's where our office
She'll
is.
go back in
way
that
back there,
hallway.
in there.
But anyways, what I was trying to say is that 2 tickets are available for that event, May 25th with John Zaffis. So that sold out pretty quick. So if you missed it, somebody cannot be there because of something that happened to some family members and said that we could throw them back in for anyone that wanted to do it that missed out. So before we announce it on Facebook or anything, I wanted to do it here on the live. So if anybody had the option or wanted to come, they can just email John at New Jersey Paranormal, and it's 2 spots for the John Zaffis with his haunted items at Camp Evans that became available.
How's the hair, by the way? The hair looking a little long. I'm debating cutting it, but I don't know. I can't tell if it still looks okay or if it's a little long. You know, I don't know. Anyway, so again, that's what's coming up. The fall events. There's going to be a lot of them. Hey Tina, how are you? Diane, how are you? Donna Schultz, Marie. There's going to be a lot coming up in the fall. We're doing some stuff that we were asked for. God, I can't remember that. It's like a Rotary Club thing. Even asked us to do something, and it's just like I don't say no, especially if it's something new. I'm just like, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. So, but we're going to be doing,
It's like that last minute festival that we did. That was literally 11:30. Hey, we're doing this festival.
I love the fall events too, Caitlin. I really do. I enjoy the fall events probably more than any of the events we do because that time of the year is just so cool. You know, it's getting colder out, getting darker a little early. The vibe's a little more creepy. Right. And I just love it. See, Jason loves my puppy ears. See? Right? I see the look over there. You're hating already.
Oh, I don't.
Chris, did you remodel or get John his own padded red? No, this is.
He needs a red room.
This is our green screen, which we're still trying to work out the bugs.
I should say red room, a padded room.
But you should see. Same. Love the guys. Love the fall, huh? So we're playing with the green screen and we're playing with the background, but we're still. Donna says, "Get a haircut." Wow.
I think you.
Donna's calling me a hippie.
I think you look good both.
Donna's calling me a hippie. Kevin, you're just jelly. We know what your issue is.
Wayne's World.
We know what your issue is, Kevin. It's a little, you know.
Diana says, keep the hair.
The fields are a little bare for my friend.
Believe it or not, John's hair when I met him was nice and long.
It's down my back.
Yeah, he had really long, gorgeous locks, and his mom kept pestering him, so he finally kind of gave in and cut it. But again, this is the shortest.
Best time of the year is from September through December. I agree. So again, this is we're gonna kind of wing it tonight, like we always do. Open forum. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, we're here for you. I love the show. I just started watching it again on Amazon. I was a big fan of Cheers and Seinfeld, and I like Frasier. I'm watching all the Frasers, and Frasier starts his show on this radio show with "Hello, Seattle. This is Fraser Crane. I'm listening. That's how I'm going to start every podcast or whatever this is that we're doing. Hello, New Jersey Paranormal Community. This is John, Paranormal Savior. I'm listening. I'd like to hear along. Thank you.
And I'm just here.
You'll look younger if you cut. I'm not interested in looking younger, Luann. Maybe that's weird to say, but really,
No, I didn't learn.
I would look younger if I shave my beard too. But I'm not doing that anytime soon either. Yeah, that Kellogg show is awful, Kevin. Awful. I used to care for yeah. So anyway, but we're gonna open it up to any subjects. Any of you guys want to come on, talk about any paranormal experiences or anything you want to talk about, or just type it in the subject area. I do have 2 guests that are booked, but it's not going to be till I think May 23rd. I want to say, and May 30th. Hey, Patricia. One of which, it may be the 16th. I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll post it. One of which is an energy healer.
Yeah.
A guy that we've known for, hey, Susan, for a while now. I like the guy. He's I mentioned this guy on the live stream the other day. Very intelligent man. I mean, the guy is,
yeah,
he knows quantum physics like the back of his hand. And
highly intelligent.
You don't know many people who could say that. Hey, Roger, what's up? And
highly intelligent.
so, but he believes he is an energy healer, that he could do it in person and from afar. So we're going to talk to Lawrence, I think on the 16th, and then the 30th. What was the word of the day? The 2 words of the day from the live stream I did? Psychic surgery. Yes, my friends, we are going to talk to someone who performs psychic surgery. May 30th. You're not going to want to miss this one because
I cannot wait for that one.
If I showed you this person's bio, you would be like, wow. So we're going to hit on certain aspects of the bio, which is different.
Her bio's super long. I mean, that's like, it's endless with all the things.
But it should be interesting because, again, I am nothing if not open-minded, people. Magic rocks, sure. You want to bring them, you want to use them, whatever. We'll try them.
And delusional.
We're working on something with that, with the magic rocks and magic beans. But when it comes to other subjects, psychic surgery, and the only thing I won't get into, hey, you're supposed to be lounging somewhere where it's a lot nicer than New Jersey. I don't know what you're talking. Patricia, could you go back out and come back in, Patricia, because nobody knows what you're talking about. But anyway, she threw me off my mojo there. See what you did, Patricia? Now I got to go out and come back in. But I was talking about, experimenting with different things and trying different things and being open-minded to different things. Talking to Donna. Oh, well, Patricia, by all means, we'll have that conversation. We'll just read along and catch everybody up here. We'll wait. But anyway, like I said, you try to talk spirit entities inside. The only thing I won't, and I shouldn't say won't, because I'm not opposed to talking about it. I'm not a big person when it comes to elemental spirits. I know everybody has their different beliefs, and even John Zaffis and those guys, Jason Hawes, they believe in elementals. I don't know, man. That's out there for me. It's again, we are all energy-based beings, and the plant life and other living things on this planet are all not human. Some of them trees are living, plants, and I get that there could be other spirit, I guess, energy forms, but no, elementals is one that, again, I would like to have the discussion with someone who knows about them, and really we can get into the explanation of what they are and how they believe to.
Do you even know what elementals mean?
Yes, I have a basic understanding of it, but I mean, I don't.
But I really don't know. I don't. Is this supposed to be about nature, connection for the elements and elementals, or are we talking about fairies and
But there are people that believe in all of that. Fairies
But
too.
that's what I'm saying. Is that what elemental is?
I don't think fairies are part of that.
So what is elemental? That's what I'm
I
asking.
think it's more nature type of driven
Well, I believe in
spirits of
nature.
the
I
land
believe in. That's
and
why I
those
think
type
that's
of
why you
things.
can be grounded when you're out of sorts and stuff. But yeah.
Anyway, but that's really the only thing I would get. I would again. I would take part in the conversation and listen to whatever. So we do have to find a guy like that and talk to them. But I don't know, man. That's out there for me. There's a lot of stuff that's out there for me, but
Hey, ladies.
uh, you know, some of it, like I said, goes in my toolbox, and others I'm just like, yeah, that's a little too wacky for me. You know, elemental is a creature type describing a sentient being or a spirit comprised of elemental energy. Yes, most common varieties are those of classic elements express themselves. Yeah, I don't that
So
that sounds to me that sounds like hokey, like the god of thunder, the god of that sounds like wacky pagan stuff and stuff that they believed when they couldn't
but
when
here's
there
the
was no
kicker.
science and they just made up gods for every
But here's the
thing that
kicker.
there was.
The logic of it is okay. We put it in a story kind of setting or you know
Well, we don't know
like
enough
the
about it
gods
to
and
really
like that.
get
But
into that.
elemental to me is the energy of the earth and like of the different things, which makes
Building Mine is
sense.
such a beautiful traveling rock and mineral show. They usually have quite a lot that you can use blacklight on. I've been, yeah, the mine's awesome. Awesome. The mine
Yes,
itself has all the elements you need for a haunting. If there is such a thing as ingredients for a quote unquote haunting, a
energy fed, so
sustainable
to say,
haunting, there's a water source in the mine.
mineral.
Lots of people died in the mine. There's minerals everywhere that are conducive to holding energy. So, I mean, if any place had that, um, the mine is definitely one of those places. So, I think that's why there's all that sustained energy and activity there. So, and people love it. Like I said, Kalani's going to go in there and um, he's going to film. I think Friday and Friday night, and then Saturday he's going to be there for an event. Really curious what he gets when he's there by himself investigating the mine. Um, should be interesting because when I was by myself in there, it was a good time for sure. Native Americans use the elemental, yeah, and
That
that's
makes
what I
total
mean.
sense. It's all based on.
But they were smoking a lot of the old peyote and
That's all
taking
part of it. That's all
ayahuasca.
the part of the elements. This is like going up into the huts and doing the whole thing with, you know.
You don't
your
even know. You're
vision and-
speaking on it, and you really don't know a lot. You just said you didn't know about it. Now you're explaining it.
I asked the explanation of because some people have a confused idea of what elemental is.
I am
when
one
I
of them,
talk-
but I'm not going to speak on what I don't really
But I
know
understand
about.
the fact there is a lot of folklore, like Gina said on this, but
Thank
the
you,
whole
Celine.
basis of it are the four components of what makes up the basis of the water, wind, fire, and what's the other one? See, I can't even remember the other one because my brain is just like, but it's the four basic elements.
Okay, and how does spirits derive from that?
So, because it's supposedly energy. It's all about the energy. Kind of like when you're having things are all going wrong and everything's not making sense and everything's upside down in your life, and they say go outside and get grounded. And I never like grounded. What do you mean by grounded? It's basically taking and wrapping your feet into the sand or the earth.
I
and like
understand the concept of being
like,
grounded.
but this is but there's a natural energy that's
that,
coming from the earth from all of these things.
That forms in some kind of spirit energy.
Yes.
See, that I don't buy. I mean, again, humans, I get the concept of a human spirit if it exists. Animals, I have no. Am I sure that there are animal spirits? I've never come into contact with an animal spirit, but I imagine animals are intelligent, sentient, beings with.
I believe in animal
with
spirits
a soul.
because when Shelly passed, I would feel right where she would lay on my legs at night. For the longest time, I felt that impression. I'm just saying,
but just energy, the force around us, that's a tough one. It's like having a tree. Yeah, trees have energy, but are trees, when a tree dies, is there a tree spirit?
No, nobody's saying that.
Well, what is an elemental spirit then?
I think it's just like when we pass, it's just the energy that's there. It's not about passing.
We're going to interview someone because you're guessing and you.
I'm telling you what I think.
Well, again, we're not learned.
I understand that.
Well,
but
I
what
think that
but
the Smurfs
you what?
could be
This is why I
elemental
don't talk.
spirits.
This is what I'm trying to say to you is that I don't think it's where it passes on become. I think it's that it's energy that's all around you all the time.
Like
that
the Force,
you use.
like Star
Yeah,
Wars.
kind of, yes. It for you, yes, it's a force.
Yeah, whatever. She don't know enough. We have to interview someone, and all of a sudden she hears Earth, Wind, and Fire like the band, and she's now schooled in.
Elementals make sense. I just want to make sure it's
Yes,
not
double-sided
about
tape has sticky elements. Thank you, Rhonda. Tape may have spirit energy.
duct tape.
Yes,
Duct tape.
true. Residual. When you use that residual goo, could be the remnants of spirit of the duct tape. I mean, you make a good point, Rhonda. Thank you. But I mean, like I said, I would definitely talk to someone about it because I'm interested, but there are certain subjects when we get into them, I kind of like spirit guides. We've talked about this before. I know people believe in it. I know people can call upon their spirit guides have names: Charlie, Harry, Bobby, Peter, Cindy, Greg. And I know they have them, and the archangel Michael. Somehow humans are calling forth an archangel to help. Wow, that's something.
Okay. I'll be the first one to say, and I believe that I don't know what you want to call guardian angel or something, but I do believe that at some point and sometimes there's intervention and there's something that's more powerful than us steps in and helps. And I believe in miracles. I'm one of those people. I believe in that kind of stuff.
Weird how that goes in and out. I'm kind of distracted because I see the staticky on the sides at sometimes. Maybe when you move. Maybe that's what does it. Yeah, see, I moved in.
See, and that's what I was trying to get, Dave. David, you're saying it very right. Some people think it's gnomes, leprechauns, and fairies and like that stuff. So there's the discussion is there's a misconception, I think, what elementals are and where they belong.
So the question is, do we believe in fairies and leprechauns?
Do we? No. I think it's a folklore, just like anything else.
Just like we don't believe in the New Jersey Devil.
I think it's
horseshit, folklore, urban legend.
Yeah, but okay.
Does not
folklore
exist.
Is based on something that was something that was made into something else. So like children's rhymes. The children's rhymes.
Are you really trying to explain to me what the definition of folklore is?
No, I'm just saying that I'm gonna be quiet tonight.
I'm just saying, you're really trying to explain to me the definition of folklore? What I'm trying
to say is that when folklore is created and somebody builds on something, becomes bigger than what it is. And it's not really the truth of, I'm not saying it to you, I'm saying it openly, that it's not the real thing of a fairy flying around. It's like it could have been a dragonfly that somebody called a fairy. Anything with wings that flies that somebody manifested in their mind, imagination as a fairy.
Again, based on a historic event could mean, like she said, one guy saw a dragonfly, the shadow of a dragonfly in the sunlight, and it looked to him like it was an angel, and told all of his friends, there's an angel over in that rock, and he spread it to all his friends, and guess what? Now we have the legend of the angel behind the rock. I don't mean it's based on any truth, because it's based on a historic event. That event could have been horse crap made up by people who didn't understand what they were saying. Honestly. I mean, come on.
Truth. But there are just some things that you have a belief system.
Fish stories. Yes. Thank you. God rest his soul. My mom's, the closest person I had to a father in my life was this guy named Fred. My mom met him when I was probably like around 12-ish. And I knew Fred till I was in my 30s, probably. And Fred was a good guy. Fred was good to me. He's good to my mom. And the one thing about Fred, if you ever saw that movie, Big Fish, Fred was that kind of guy. He told a lot of stories about his life. And at first, when you first met him, you were like, wow, wow, Fred, you had some life. Damn. You really, did this and did that. But then as you got to know him year after year, and every time you would bring up a subject, he had a story about it where he did whatever you were talking about on some great adventure. And after a while, you just kind of tune out or you just nod and whatever. But if a Fred was in your village in the middle of
You tell them all those
wherever,
stories.
and he's telling all those stories based on what he saw, well, then you may tell someone and tell someone and tell someone and tell someone, and next thing you know, you have the Jersey Devil with some child of the Leeds who was deformed, and get the hell out of here, that crap. Anyway, I had my guardian angel visit me as a young kid. She told me something that no one else would ever see. I do believe that, Christine. I would never ever doubt, but I think my impression or version of guardian angel is someone in your life or who was in your life or who's connected to you somehow, some way, ancestor, whatever. I don't think it's really an angel from heaven. I don't think it's a wonderful life. It's not Clarence that's coming down. It's someone connected to you.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny, Laura.
what I cracked up the show Paranormal caught on camera the other night. Someone took a photo of something hiding behind a tree. The commentator said, "Oh, it's a mystical creature known as hide behind." Again, this stuff. This is why I don't watch those shows. I
See,
do not watch those shows
no,
because Paranormal caught on camera would drive me crazy. I've watched it before, and they literally. I watched maybe 3 episodes, and one episode that I watched there was a guy who was obviously in a costume on a roof. He was in an alien costume. And they were just like, whoa, well, for someone to see that and capture it evidence, I was just like, what? 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 But I get it. It's a show. Yeah,
so
it is ridiculous.
so I'll get it in a minute. Jennifer said I had an issue this week and I actually called St. Michael and St. Gabriel this week in hopes. Do I believe? I don't know, but I prayed. And she believes something. I see, but I believe that's all about positive, trying to be positive and being hopeful. And I think that's what makes a difference in our life. And I think that's the boat that everybody's missing when it comes to stuff. It's about hope. It's about having faith in something and not being like hopeless and depressed and something that's happening. It's always going to be dismal and it'll never be a good outcome if we don't have hope and we don't have things that we can hopefully pull in the power of something that's going to build us. I think that's what we talk about when we talk about pulling in something or praying to something that's bigger than us when there's a problem that's bigger than us or a concern or health issues.
But you know, it's like I said, that's the whole thing with the paranormal is a field in which it's really hard to convince people who aren't believers and are devout skeptics that it's like anything else. If these people are skeptics as it is and they don't believe, and people are posting pictures of a totally pixelated thing in a window that looks like a smudge and saying, here's my picture of a spirit I captured, or an orb, a piece of dust flying by, well, then those people are going to look at you and be like, what you're showing me is explainable and kind of like very inconclusive or just easily dismissed, so it really makes this field even harder when I don't want to say people don't know what they're doing. It's you know you the line for what you should really like. I can't tell you how many videos I get from ring cameras with smudges moving on a camera, and people are like, "That's a spirit." I saw one today from a person who has so many followers on both Instagram and I think on TikTok. And this person they're not in the paranormal field, but they are in a way. I don't want to say who
Right.
they are because, oh, why not? They're a hospice nurse. And I watch this person time to time because this person talks about people who she is with in hospice that have seen things and she's experienced, and it's a lot of good stuff. But all of a sudden she got into showing a video of a real spirit in a room, and it didn't look real at all. It really didn't. And I saw that and I'm like, again, I in my head, I said, why are you going there? when it's out of your realm of expertise or whatever you want to call it, like show it to a few people first, maybe, and say, what do you think of this before you
I
present
think
it
it's the human
as,
condition of I showed you this. Now I need to step it up and show you something else, hopefully to impress you. It's sensationalism. It's about always being pressed. Well, I did this. How can I up the ante? How can I make it more interesting? And that's where we start to blur the line and lose the authenticity of what we're really doing.
yeah, the ring camera footage, I get that all the time. It used to be just cell phone footage of people in their bedrooms filming their bedroom and orbs would fly by, and that's what I would get. Now I'm getting tons of ring camera stuff. Are you guys planning on doing the investigation? You know, you're not the only one who asked us that, Rachel. I know a lot of people like the Burlington prison, and we're amongst them. Um, it's not something we have on our schedule yet. It's something we could work out, but I don't know. We might do it because we do like Janet from the Historic Society. She's a
That
friend
one
of
always
ours.
happens like later.
Yeah, but I don't have it on the
Good
schedule
night,
at all.
Gina.
So I mean, for I don't really have anything for it yet, but I know people like it, and you're not the first one to mention it, Rachel. So maybe we will have something there. It's not like I don't like going there. I do. It's just everything else. I'm in one group on Facebook that you can show your pictures and get zoomed in pictures, black spot. Yeah, it's just an empty spot between. That's the problem, Celine, is that I'm I see a lot of these groups and I see a lot of people post pictures and then one or two things happen. There's a bunch of people who are like, whoa, wow, good catch. Wow, that's awesome. Look at that. Oh my God. And then there's the people that rip them apart. There is no in between in the paranormal. It either nice people or not nice people. And that's the way this field is. But when people used to show me pictures a lot, more so in the old days at our events, and we do encourage people to take pictures. I'm not saying we don't. And Tanya came up with a pretty good idea of how to do that. And I don't want to say it because there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and they watch and they copy and they do whatever. But you know, we do
Yeah,
encourage
they do.
people to
You're
do
right,
that.
Donna.
You know, they do what?
They get mad when you point out.
Yeah, they don't even want to hear that word. It frustrates them, and I understand it frustrating them because they want to believe they caught something, and I get that, you know. But if you're blowing something up 100 times the size of that little speck, and you're pointing out an eye and a nose to me, come on, man, you know. But again, not all of it's fake. That's the truth. It's not. Not all of it's fake. Not all of it's explainable. I've seen both many times. But I do encourage people to take pictures because there is that chance that you are going to catch a shadow figure or an anomaly that isn't explainable. Definitely in different places that we go. I get it too, but I have to be honest with you, people don't have to be. No, you're right. And that's the we live in a world, and we all know this, where um, people are emboldened and it there there's more rude people in the world today, I think, than there's
A
ever
filter.
been.
Something happened where a filter came off and
Well,
people
it's
forgot.
everywhere, and in the paranormal, it runs rapid. I mean, I was talking to someone who shall be nameless, who's been in this field 50 years, and I said to them, "Has it ever been this bad in the field with what's going on with people attacking each other?" And he said, "Never, never." You know why? Social media. Beautiful thing and a bad thing. Everybody has an opinion and everybody feels confident to attack when they're
Well,
not
you're
in front
behind
of
the
you and
scenes.
they're
You're not. Yeah,
it's really
it's easy to attack and be keyboard bullies and be so judgmental. There's something that happened during COVID where that thing got lifted where if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. And a door opened where I can say whatever I want, how I want to say it, and it doesn't matter what it is I'm saying if it's hurtful or not. Everybody's and people call it, well, I'm saying my
well.
truth.
I
I'm
mean,
saying my
Donna
truth.
said a good point. If you question the validity, can I say that word,
Yeah, you're
of
not
of
you're a believer.
of a photo or a recording or whatever, yeah, You're not. That's my pet peeve with the paranormal, is that there can be the gray. You know what I mean? It can be not 100% obvious, but one of those could be, or it might not be. There is the gray, and people kind of lose sight of that a little in society, where it is or it ain't, but you do have to be understanding of people's feelings. Even if you think it's fake, you don't belittle someone and say, that's fake. You don't know what you're doing. That's, you just, you don't do that. There's ways to be constructive in what you're saying. I don't know them, but
Yeah,
I'm sure there are ways.
and Celine, you pointed out
That's a
with
joke.
that whole thing. I got the whole thing with your son and what happened. People, even if they don't know somebody, they automatically make assumptions and judgments about a situation that they have no business being in, and that's what's brutal about what's going out in the world. It's very harsh, and I still come from the old school, and I'll still
She
be that
literally
way.
does come from the
I
old
do.
school.
If you got
It's a
nothing
very
nice
old
to
school.
say, keep your mouth closed. If you don't like a person, just don't interact with them. Let them be and let them do their thing.
People need to be careful that they aren't followed home by negative energy spirits. It can happen. Um, Christine, here's the thing. We've been doing events for 15 years, and not once has anybody ever said to me, with the exception of Ben from Channel 11, but I think that was in his mind. Not once has anyone ever said to me that they felt like something followed them home or attached to them. And, we've been in buildings where there's been a lot of death and a lot of weird circumstances. Is it possible? Sure. Definitely. And that's why we tell people now that they should protect themselves in whatever way they feel confident in
Yeah.
doing that, because it is, yes, can it happen? Sure. But I don't think it's as common as
I mean,
people
what's the
make it
worst thing
as.
that's happened to us
I
is
think
that
Hollywood and TV has really made that.
we've had things happen, and the worst thing that's happened is that we've been not well for a few days.
Yes, the living are
It's
much
like,
more scary.
right.
Yeah, I've had things follow me. I know I've had things attached
and
to me.
and the worst thing that's ever happened, like we went and did a walkthrough with a psychic medium at this big art factory, and for whatever reason I was completely drained after that happened. I mean, it was like I didn't feel well, and for the next few days I was not myself. I was exhausted, I had no energy, I couldn't get up out of bed, and I was affected by whatever was going on there and stuff. And maybe it was because she was drawing in all the stuff and then saying the different things that were happening, and I was feeling it, and it just affected me on a physical level as well as an emotional and mental, and it all just kind of binded together. And maybe it was a form of depression that happened because of it. I mean, you got to be logical about stuff. And then there was another time where I literally was ill for 3 days after something had happened, but it fades.
No, it's possible for sure, but I just don't think it's as common and as frequent as people think it is. But I think, just like everything else in life, illness,
That's
other
true,
things,
Celine.
I think there are things that some of us are more susceptible than others. I
Yeah,
believe that when it comes to the paranormal as
that's why I
well,
don't mess with
because
dark stuff.
and you should know that about yourself. I mean, really, you should, if you've experienced it and it wasn't a good experience, and you're kind of sensitive that way, where you're affected, empath, whatever you want to call it, you really should be cautious, yes, of what you do and where you go as far as events or buildings or things of that, especially if you're dealing with a place where there's known to be aggressive spirits, or things that happen that were really bad to women, or to people. I mean, yeah, these are the things you should.
I stay away from the dark stuff. If I know something's dark and we're investigating it,
No, we tell people all the time, either with objects or in a building, if you're in an area and you're feeling a certain way or around an object, get away from it. Remove yourself from it. Just remove yourself. Don't keep subjecting yourself to that energy, because then you are asking for trouble. You know?
oh God, Rhonda, forgot about that. Remember that we had where you?
Oh my God.
Oh, that was pretty bad, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I
Mm-hmm.
remember. I remember it, but I don't remember it.
Oh,
Was
that
that
was
an
bad.
object?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a deep
I didn't
voice.
like that one at all.
Yeah, I don't remember the circumstances, but I remember that. But then again, it's happened before and often. So kidding. But
Well,
anyway,
even
yes.
anger. John got the picture. That's right. It was the picture that created that.
I don't remember. My memories
And then you were just there, and
completely
all
shot.
I could see is me stabbing you.
Completely shot. Me stabbing you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then how you were. Oh my God, that painting about
Bertha.
on
See,
that.
how do you people remember this stuff? My God. See, here's the thing about me. My mom, who Italian woman, she came over when she was young, only 5 foot tall. My mother had hands like catcher's mitts. So if you made her mad, you got boom, you got the catcher's mitt or the spoon. She chased you with the spoon and tried to. So my mom, from the time I was old enough to understand words, said to me, "Never hit a woman. Never hit a girl. Never hit a woman. If you do, I'll kill you." And she meant every word of it. So women, I mean, yes, I'll yell and we'll argue and just like all couples do from time to time, but I would never ever lay my hand on a female. My and hitting kids. My mom never hit us. Never.
I'm the same way.
I don't believe in hitting kids. I never hit my kids. So when it comes to that kind of violence, no, I don't have that in me except when I'm around evil objects that make me want to kill Chris. And I think any judge will release me if that were true. It'll be like that Warren movie. The devil made me do it. Bertha made me do it. How do you see the conversation to be? I don't know what that means. We have to. I swear there's something in my shore house that is over 100 years old. I always hit it. See, Luann, that's the thing, too. It is so weird how energy works sometimes. And this is the God's honest truth. I'm not sensitive. I'm not empath. I'm not any of that stuff. But you can be in places or around objects where, man, that emotion is just on you and in you. Depression, anger. I mean, it's really weird when it happens to you because you don't realize that it's happening. And then all of a sudden you start taking inventory. You got to get rid of that one. You got to start taking inventory of what's going on with you and how you're feeling. And you notice that, yeah, something's off here. I'm feeling weird emotionally, and my thoughts have all of a sudden kind of skewed. I mean, what happens to me hasn't happened in a long time, but we were just talking about. Oh God, yeah. Rhonda remembers everything.
She does. She does. But he had a. It was funny. The oh my God, the other car that you had, the blue one.
Yeah.
He had we were going somewhere, and he threw in the trunk these haunted objects when we're coming back from him doing a session with him. And as he's talking to me on the phone, because I was home, and he's talking to me, and he was like, yeah, and then the car all of a sudden filled with smoke. And he started coughing, and he couldn't breathe. He goes, I smell fire. He thought the car was on fire. It turns out it was the haunted object. It was
a doll.
That the doll, remember? And we were talking about it. What?
Carol Altman. You gotta get rid of her. But yeah, that was one I remember. That was a doll that the little girl died in a fire, and her father kept a doll, and her father. Yeah, I'm getting rid of that person.
We just did.
John, Chris just got rid of her. But it was a doll. Supposedly, the little girl died in the fire. The father kept it, and the father became an alcoholic and kind of threw his life away. And that doll, when I first got it, I was coughing.
Yep.
And I put that thing in my car because I wasn't allowed to bring it in. And every time I got my car, it felt like my lungs filled. I'm not a smoker. Cigarettes. I smoked weed when I was young. But I've never smoked cigarettes. I tried cigarettes when I was young, but it was like every other kid who tries cigarettes. They get into your lung, you just hack your brains out, and you feel like you're going to throw up. That's the way I felt around this doll. My lungs were filled. Every time I breathed in, it was that horrible smoke feeling. And that doll was definitely transferring
Well, how about,
whatever incident had happened.
well, the funny thing is that, and there's other, that happened with the Kia, right? Was that when you had that one, or was that also with the other car with the trunk?
That'd be the
Because
other
we
car.
were driving down the road, and John had taken all, because we had to take the haunted objects back to where they needed to go, and he threw them all in the trunk. We had them in a box. We wanted to make sure that we weren't affected by them. We get down the road about a mile, his trunk pops open.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It went flying open, and then we had to go back, and we're just like, what? 2 times that trunk popped open, and never happened again after we got rid of the objects.
Taryn, we're working on the background thing. You got to get one of these, man. I don't know if you have one or not,
She
but
wants to hunt in it.
but
Come
we
on.
actually, Chris actually walks all the way from that back room back there. See that light on? She comes way, and she comes and she sits down. She's usually, you hear the door open and everything, but we're working on the background stuff. We're still working it out. I like it because it's different, and I'm gonna have a lot of weird stuff back there in the future, I'm sure. I remember the car doll store. Yes,
Yeah.
God, the pandemic days were fun, man. They were fun, and I was bored, and I did some weird stuff for sure because I couldn't get my paranormal fix. So yes, I was in my car investigating objects. Believe it or not, that's how
What was
nuts
sent to you in the
and into the
mail?
paranormal I am.
What was sent to you
That
in the
was the one
mail?
doll that BB attacked me.
Oh, that's
That
right.
was that doll. I couldn't get rid of that thing fast enough. No way.
Yeah, that was bad. That
That
was really
was
bad.
her cat attacked me. Someone didn't want the doll in their house. They said there was an energy or whatever. I forgot all about that. They said they were going to send it to me, and this box comes, and I'm like, it's got my name on it. You know, what is this? I bring it into the house. I open it up. As soon as I bring it into the house, her evil cat comes running by me and looking at me with the, if you know a cat that's going to attack you, that look. And I'm looking at her, and
She started growling.
I
She
open up the
never did to
box,
John.
and I see her tail go, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I took the doll out of the box, and she jumped up to attack me. I mean, full bore. She was coming after me to hurt me. And I'm lifting the doll, and I'm trying to get away from her. And I threw the doll up on a shelf, and she just kept wanting to stop. So I grabbed a blanket, and I cornered her in the room, and I shut the door, and I ran outside because I knew she was pulling up. And I'm like, your effing cat is trying to kill me. And that doll, that cat,
Yeah, it
100% picked up on that
It
energy.
did.
100%. I've never seen anything like that in my
And
life.
John, that this cat, he calls her crazy and whatever, but this cat loves John.
No, I've
Must have been.
never seen a cat do that. Not that
Mm-mm.
cat.
She puffed out and growled and bared her teeth and went for blood on John.
And I couldn't get rid of that thing fast enough. That went in my car for a while, and then I finally got rid of it.
That's what was in the
was
trunk, I
protecting
think, when
your
it kept
home.
pumping, that kept
Yeah.
popping up.
But that was one we had a meeting with a medium, and we were talking about either doing stuff with them or them attending one of our fairs or something like that, and didn't even know it was in the car. And we're meeting with this person, and they're just like, there's something in your car that's giving me pains
Yeah.
in my chest and in my stomach area. And I'm like, what now? And he's like, is there something in your car? And I'm like, yeah. Like there's a freaking evil doll in my trunk.
And the funny thing is, it was in a box sealed.
Yeah.
I mean, and not a paper box, but a wooden, what is it, like those mini, what the heck you call them, chests, where it was all locked in there and solid. And yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. And those are the experiences you remember, no matter what you do and no matter where you go. That's what makes it real. That's why I said a million times over, any skeptic, and I've argued with the best of them, any skeptic that says to me the paranormal is not real and I could disprove this, that, and the other, no, you can't. You really can't. Because the things I've seen and I've experienced, no way. I like to think of myself as a rational person as far as debunking and trying to figure stuff out. I almost said the S word, but I know I could run through my head at least 10 things that no one could ever tell me were not 100% paranormal. So, did you know I didn't give that doll to John Zappas? Would you ever bring a dog? No, my Walter would not be good on a paranormal investigation
How about any dog?
unless you had food. No, I wouldn't bring a dog on a paranormal because um, I don't know. I wouldn't put an animal at risk of any kind being in a building, you know, like that. I just
Because we
want
never talk about whether or not these animals are affected.
no,
Not
not
just
like
that
that,
they
Rhonda.
sense it.
Never since. Just give them
Because
to
we don't bring
dollars.
haunted stuff into the house.
I'll tell you one thing that happened though. Something similar story, but different. And I may have told this one before. Uh, there was a woman who contacted me and said um, they had been hiking in the woods, her and her daughter, and I think her husband, whatever. And her daughter had picked up like an arrowhead from what she said was, you know, a sacred ground, whatever in whatever area they were hiking, forest, woods, whatever. Um, we're in New Jersey. I would butcher your name if I tried to say it. But ever since she brought this arrowhead into her home, things were going weird. They were saying things, they were hearing things, and she was afraid. So the mom calls me, and I said to the mom, I said, get it out of your house. That's number one. Put it in an envelope, send it to me, get it out of your house. And as soon as you mail it, tell me the next day how things are, if there's any change whatsoever. So she got it out of her house. She sent it priority. She back again. I thought you. She sent it priority mail. So I literally had it the next day. And I was able to reach out to this person again. I said, I have it. It's in a plastic bag, little tiny arrowhead. I said, any difference at all in your home? She said, I felt lighter and the house felt different, the energy, as soon as I put it, I dropped it off at the post office. I kept that thing here for a good 3 or 4 days and no bad feelings, no weird feelings, no weird energy, nothing. And I wound up getting rid of it. And maybe she got freaked out because there were stories of it being sacred ground and she knew she had taken something off of it. And people watch these movies and they see these TV shows and they think, oh crap, what did I do? Any little knock on their window or sound of the heat coming on is a demon or an angry indigenous person. But I purposely kept it near me and around me for 3 or 4 days just to see if there was even the hint. And maybe it reacted to her that way because she took it and I didn't. But whatever the case, she got rid of it like she should have. And thank God, whatever was with it went with it and just, you know.
Can something be evil to you and not me?
Yes, 100%. Yes, 100%. I mean, we tell people all the time, and it's not just a tagline or something we say for the sake of saying it. There's no telling how energy is going to react to energy of any kind. That little girl spirit that may have been nice to her in a building, I go into that same room, she may have a totally different, based on her life and her experience and whatever led to her passing, just like people. Well,
I grew up with something tormenting me, and I had 3 other sisters, and
it wasn't me.
It didn't do it to my sisters. It drove them away from me, and it drove. It had me become very isolated because the things were so bad. But it did not torment my sisters like it did. It just did enough to keep them away and be afraid, but it didn't do what it did to me. So it does. What?
Deb said it's the Postal Service's problem now. You'd be surprised, Deb, how many people are probably shipping out objects to get them out of their house and the Postal Service. But yes, Chris did have a lot of trauma and a lot of things she dealt with. And then a hero comes along. You're welcome. You're welcome. You don't have to say it. Some things don't need to be said. They're just understood.
I believe
I hear you.
I will get my
I hear you.
reward on the other side.
I hear you. That's all. It's between us. They don't need to know. I know. Speaking of, again, saints, I'm actually named. My middle name, for those of you who
It
don't
is.
know, my name is John Batista Ruggiero. That's my name. John Batista. I'm John the Baptist. That's what I was named after my grandfather. So there you go. It was written. It was written in fate. It was fated
They had to
that
give
I
you
would.
everything they possibly could to help
I'm just. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe my mother took a
the
look at me and
aura,
said,
the middle name,
"Yeah,
you name
the
it.
holy water. They probably baptized me 4 times in a week."
Oh, sugar.
So now you guys know. Now it all makes sense, right? It's all coming into focus. Big picture. So there's no your John McGinnis knows me. John McGinnis, he knows. If you should believe anyone, it's that man. Although he wears John McGinnis, who is a friend, and we've known for years now. John McGinnis, a little inside story. We're setting up for the expo in a school full of children who are 17, 16, 15. Yes, and I know they've heard curse words and probably heard, but Mr. McGinnis there is walking around with a shirt with the F word on it as he's helping us set up. Remember this?
Yes.
So you are a friend, John McGinnis, but next time maybe.
Jennifer had a good one.
I feel silly asking, but I used to do. Well, you got to get that Ouija board spelling down, Jennifer. Ouija boards and homemade ones. I would think the words think, then spelled it out. Freaky things happen. I never touched one again. Does that stuff stay with you? I was 12, 16 and never closed them. Didn't know, but freaked them out. So I, John, we do this. John, don't threaten me with that, please, because I know you. But I believe it happened, Jennifer, because I've heard Ouija board stories from people who've experienced bad things using them. I myself think that it's psychosomatic and that people are moving the boards and they kind of create their own thing. That's my personal experience.
My thing would be when you were doing the board, what was your mindset? What were you feeling? What was going on? Why were you doing the board? What were you looking for? And did you have any idea? Like, were you vulnerable at the time?
Well,
so there's all kinds of different
I've
scenarios.
tried to use them.
This.
I don't know how to. Are you opening one just by using it? Then I've opened them and I've never closed them. I don't even know what that means.
People have rules and stuff, but to remember that originally it was made as a board game, a game.
No, it was not.
And then,
I'm kidding.
And then it became something else. And then Hollywood got a hold of it. But I'm a firm believer with anything that you do when you're messing with the other side or whatever. It's what your intent is and what you create out of it that makes
it is
whatever.
A fact that I don't know who made them. I'm going to say Milton Bradley, even though it wasn't Milton Bradley who made the Ouija board. It was a fact that the whole family was devil worshippers and Satan worshippers. And that board was crafted in the basement of a satanic church. The first one was chiseled in a way and infused with the blood of 1 million sacrifices. So there is the story of the first Ouija board. And then they
it was Milton Bradley. That. You're right, Christine.
Yeah, get rid of whatever that is.
Yeah. You're right, Christine. That's exactly.
No, I don't
it's
really.
It's not showing up for me, so I can't get rid of it.
I don't hold any sway when it comes to Ouija boards and what they do. I think you would get the same reaction if you went out in your backyard and used a stone and put it on the ground and tried to conjure a spirit or a devil or anything like that. I think it is more about intent. I think there's probably more to it with intent than there is the power of the board. If you go into something,
negative gets negative, positive gets
and
positive.
If you're opening at that door, I mean, who knows?
They're
right?
Different. Listen, nobody knows nobody has concrete answers.
Yeah, but it's not the Ouija board. That's not the reason they're not letting you in. So You want to tell yourself that, that's fine. I get it. But no, it's not the Ouija board. Go in. A person painted on the back of one that wasn't a good video. No, the Creeper Gallery. That was
You were You were nasty.
that was another
That was
weird
where
one.
I could have knocked his.
But I've touched a million
Ouija
Ouija boards since, and I just think of whatever energy was connected to that board, whether it was brought in or not. I think was bad, very bad.
Oh,
yes, yeah. For sure. But it's Tuesday. We're not really doing any investigations until Saturday when we go to the Sterling Hill mine with Kalani. Maybe if Kalani's up for it, we'll do a live with him on Friday just to say hello and talk about his investigation. Maybe he'll come on with us for a few minutes on Friday. We're going to be up there just because we have to be caretakers of the place when people are there that we invite in. I swear it's the board. They love me. Oh, Deb, again, whatever you need to get you by, I'm all for it. It's not the board. What do you guys think of one of those pendulums? People ask what you're talking. Yeah. All right. I'll let Chris handle that question.
You can't just sit down and like just play. You've got to be in a meditative state. You've got to be relaxed and you have to be open. But the idea of the pendulum thing is that that your energy is being used to answer the question. Now, having said that, yeah, you could subconsciously move it yourself without realizing it to the answer you want. So I always say if you're going to do it and you really want to know if it's right or whatever, be blindfolded, set a thing in front of you, that yes, no, whatever, rephrase, whatever.
It won't move when you're blindfolded.
And
it won't move.
Can you let me finish?
It just won't move. I guarantee you.
That's because you don't believe in it. And you have somebody put it in front of you, blindfold you, and record it, video it, and then just see if it does answer. Because we've had it where people have answered and gotten things surprisingly. And one of those things where a girl came to one of our events and said, "Is my friend so-and-so going to get pregnant?" And it said, "Yes." And then it said, "What is she going to have? A boy?" She said, "It's going to be a girl." "No." "Is it going to be a boy?" "Yes." A year later, she came back and she said, "Guess what? My friend did get pregnant and had a boy." So it's weird. I don't know why or what, but I think it has to do with the person and your energy. And he's sitting there shaking the head, and I'm literally not focusing because he just.
Very frustrating because yes, if you put a blindfold on, that thing ain't moving one bit.
Because you listen. He can't meditate. He can't relax.
100%.
This doesn't shut
I'll bet
off,
any amount of money on it. Guaranteed, not moving.
It's not going to move for you.
You're influencing it. My opinion. I'm entitled to my.
So
opinion.
The other thing
it's
is,
like dowsing
if you feel
rods.
like John,
I've seen people with dowsing rods. Oh, hey, whoa,
I don't do dowsing rods.
Over here, over there, crossing or uncrossing.
I don't do with dowsing rods.
Or shit.
But the other thing to do is switch off. If you want to do it with two people, have someone ask the questions and the other person is the one that's actually holding it, that has no influence on what the answer is going to be. That's another thing you could do. I know you don't believe in that stuff, John, so don't poo-poo on my parade.
I'm not poo-pooing anything. I'm just saying. No, we're not going to go to the Creeper Gallery this week. No. We're not going to Creepy. That's all I'll say about that.
Do you remember back in the old day when they used to take they didn't call them pendulum, but they would take the string or whatever and they put it over a pregnant woman and they would have like the stone or whatever and it would go back and forth and it would tell you what certain way that it would swing if it was a boy and girl. That was a big thing that was done for a long time.
But are you saying that was 100% accurate every time, all the time?
I have no clue.
And then they invented something scientific called ultrasound and they did away with the rock.
This is all I have to say with this man. You know what I'm saying?
Nuts. Anyway, oh my God, table tipping. Let's not go there because my friends are going to get mad at me if I go into table tipping. I will say 2 words related to it: horseshit, and that's it. So anyway, we'll be back. I don't know, Thursday.
True, Luann.
Maybe Thursday. Thursday sounds good. Like I said, I have guests lined up that we're going to have on in the next couple of weeks about some very interesting subjects. I can't wait to talk about either one of those subjects because last time we talked to Lawrence was
quite a long time
5 years ago, maybe.
It's been a
It's
while.
been forever. So again, my opinions and views may have changed a little bit since that first interview. Um, and like I said, this other person, I'm not going to say her name yet because I want to lock it all in and confirm it. But man, there's that one we may have to do a two-parter because there's so much stuff in there that I don't think I'm going to cover it all in an hour. I don't think there's any way. I don't think there is. What's just in the description where they use it on there? Get out of here, compelling dowsing rods. Give me a break. Give me a manufactured.
Most
ghost hunting.
people who
That's
use,
what dowsing rods are.
but
It's
you want me to tell you
manufactured
something?
horse shit for stuff that's not really going on in the building. Yet they do these parlor tricks with turning and.
But I am going to put out there,
horse shit.
Most people who do the dowsing rods and stuff don't even know where dowsing rods come from and why they're dowsing rods and what real dowsing rods are. So the dowsing rods everybody's using.
I don't have to be there, Deb. I've seen it done a million times, and I've done it myself.
But I would like to hear about it, Deb. Even if John does it, when I see you again, I would like to hear about it.
Ghost hunting thing when the water bottle crinkles.
I would like to hear about it, Deb.
Crap. Again, I'm not against people trying it.
Next time.
I'm not against people trying it. I'm not. I mean, if people
horseshit and
Ouija. You're gonna hear horseshit a million times out of my mouth if I
That's exactly what it was used for.
Fine
was
water.
For water.
Thank you, Christine.
And it was tree.
Thank
it was
you
a certain
so
tree
much.
branch that was used.
Thank you so much, Christine. Ask question. I wouldn't do it. I've done it, and I've seen it done, and I've seen people do, like I said, a whole circus act with them, and it's like it's the same people who do this with the Ouija board. Oh, come on, give me a break. Anyway, Donna, I'm sure you had an amazing experience. I'm sure it was. Sure, there's a lot of water in those pipes. Anyway, if you could drink honey water, no. See, I didn't do that. That wasn't me, Rhonda. Adam Berry drank the magic honey from the graveyard. Remember that? And then put the nickels for the whatever. What's he called?
Over the
talisman?
eyes. Yeah, the talisman's over the eyes.
I would do it. I would try it. Sure.
I wouldn't.
Why not, man?
I wouldn't.
Why not?
No,
anyway,
I'm good.
We've covered a lot.
Yeah, we didn't.
So, like I said, Thursday-ish, we'll be back for another live. If we can find someone to bring on, we will. If not, it'll just be us with a different background. Mix it up.
It'll be John in the background stabbing Chris. That's what it'll be.
I don't know what that means.
A dream, or that spirit telling you that you felt like you had in your head when we were at the Creeper Gallery.
Anyway, yes. Thanks for watching, guys. As usual, thank you so much for your support. Again, we're fortunate to do the events we do with the people that we get to do them with because you guys support them. You guys come out. We were fortunate enough to sell out our events, even though ghost events aren't selling as well as they normally do. Sales are down.
So we hear.
Not. But we do enjoy doing it. And again, we appreciate everything you guys do on the live streams, YouTube, TikTok, everything. We can't thank you guys enough. It's because of you we get to do the stuff we want to do and talk like this about absolutely nothing for an hour or so.
We appreciate each and every single one of you. So thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Have a good night.
Next
safe.
week, we'll do an investigation next week for sure.
Will we? Yeah?
Well, not for sure. We need to work some stuff out. Maybe.
Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And please be kind.
Good night, everyone. And remember, a hero comes along. No dowsing rods. No magic rocks. Please, people. Please.
I had a dowsing rod. You might get hurt.